Captain Jiho Park stood at the large window of his ship, the TSS Vengeance. He watched the distant flashes of light. These were the final explosions of the war between humans and the collective aliens. This war had lasted 10 years. The humans had finally destroyed the alien network that controlled all enemy ships. "Captain, we just got the final message. The collective hub has been destroyed," said Lieutenant Unmi. Her voice was calm, but her face showed how tired she was. Jiho nodded without speaking. He was 43 years old now. He had spent almost 10 years fighting this war. Their victory didn't feel good. Earth was badly damaged. The human colonies on other planets were mostly destroyed. More than half of all humans had died in the war. The large screen on the bridge turned on. Admiral Taewan's serious face appeared. "Captains of the Terran Defense Fleet," the admiral said, "we have won the war, but at a terrible cost. And now, we face an even darker truth. Someone betrayed us." Everyone on the bridge became quiet. "Our intelligence team has confirmed what we suspected for a long time. The collective knew our defense positions, our escape plans, and our weapons. Humans betrayed humanity." Jiho gripped the railing tightly. They had all heard rumors about this. Stories of humans who helped the enemy for money, power, or just to save themselves. Admiral Taewan continued, "We have found a group of high-ranking military and political leaders who secretly helped the collective. They have run away into deep space. They are probably looking for safety with the remaining collective forces or in areas where we have no control." "What are our orders, sir?" Jiho asked, though he already knew what the answer would be. "The war for survival is over. The hunt for justice begins." The admiral's eyes became hard. "Captain Park, your ship has been chosen for a special mission. The Vengeance will lead the hunt for these traitors. Find them, collect proof of their crimes, and bring them to justice by any means necessary." Jiho looked around at his crew, Unmi at the weapons station, communications officer Sung Ho, navigator Hee Jin, and chief engineer Do Hyun. They had lived through the worst war in human history together. Now they would start something maybe even more dangerous, hunting the enemy within. "Understood, Admiral. When do we start?" "Right now. Your first target is General Sun-Woo Kim, former head of colony defense. Our reports say he is heading toward the Cygnus Arm. He has important information about the others. Find him, Captain." As the screen went dark, Jiho turned to his crew. "Set a course for the Cygnus checkpoint. We're going hunting." 2 weeks later, the Vengeance moved slowly through the Cygnus checkpoint. This was a busy trading area, even after the war. Ships from all over human space came here to trade goods. "Any sign of General Sun-Woo's ship?" Jiho asked Hyejin. The navigator shook her head. "No, Captain, but there are hundreds of ships here. He could be hiding among them." Jiho frowned. Sun-Woo was smart. He wouldn't use his own ship or name. He would be traveling under a fake identity. "Chung-ho, check all communications in this area. Look for any patterns that might be Sun-Woo trying to contact his allies." "Yes, sir," the communications officer said, turning to his screens. Jiho walked to Unmi's station. "What do we know about Sun-Woo's friends or family? Anyone he might contact for help?" Unmi pulled up Sun-Woo's file on her screen. "He was married once, but his wife died in the first year of the war when the collective attacked the moon colony. No children. His parents are dead. He was very private even before the war." "Everyone has someone," Jiho said. "Keep looking." Later that day, Sung-ho called Jiho to the communications station. "Captain, I found something strange. There's a small cargo ship that arrived here 3 days ago. The captain is listed as Jaehwa Lee. I checked the records, and this Jaehwa was a student at the military academy 20 years ago, at the same time as Sun-Woo. They were in the same class." Jiho felt a surge of hope. "That's good work, Sung-ho. Where is this ship now?" "Docked at Trading Platform 7. They're supposed to leave tomorrow." "Unmi, prepare a small team. We'll go to Trading Platform 7 to check this ship." Trading Platform 7 was crowded with people from many different human colonies. Some looked thin and sick, refugees from worlds destroyed in the war. Others were traders, moving quickly from shop to shop. Military police walked around, keeping order. Ji-ho, Yun-mi, and two security officers walked casually toward the docking area where Jae-hwa's ship was. Remember, Ji-ho told his team, we're just watching for now. If Sun-woo is with her, we don't want to scare him away. They found a small cafe with a good view of Jae-hwa's ship, the Steady Wind. It was a standard cargo ship, nothing special. After 2 hours of watching, a woman walked toward the ship. She was about 50, with short gray hair and the confident walk of someone used to giving orders. That must be Jae-hwa, Yun-mi said quietly. Ji-ho nodded, but no sign of Sun-woo. Just then, Yun-mi's small scanner beeped softly. Captain, I'm picking up an encrypted communication from the Steady Wind. Can you break it? No, sir. But it's military-grade encryption. Regular cargo ships don't have that kind of technology. Ji-ho made a quick decision. She's contacting someone, maybe Sun-woo. Let's take her in for questioning. They moved quickly toward the Steady Wind. Jae-hwa saw them coming and tried to run back into her ship, but Eun-mi was faster. She tackled Jae-hwa to the ground. Captain Jae-hwa Lee, you're being detained for questioning, Ji-ho said, showing his military ID. Jae-hwa glared at him. You have no right. I'm a legitimate traitor. Legitimate traitors don't use military-grade encryption, Yun-mi said, pulling Jae-hwa to her feet. And they don't run when they see military officers. Back on the Vengeance, they put Jae-hwa in the secure interview room. Ji-ho sat across from her. We know you were in contact with General Sun-woo Kim, he said. Where is he? Jae-hwa crossed her arms. I don't know what you're talking about. You were classmates at the military academy. You've been using military encryption that only high-ranking officers have access to. Don't waste my time. You have no proof I've done anything wrong. Ji-ho leaned forward. The war is over, Captain Lee. But the hunt for those who betrayed humanity has just begun. General Sun-woo is accused of sharing military secrets with the collective, secrets that led to the deaths of billions. If you've been helping him, you'll face the same charges. Fear flickered in Jae-hwa's eyes. You don't understand. It's not what you think. Then explain it to me. She looked down at her hands. Sun-woo is trying to save what's left of humanity, not destroy it. By helping the enemy? There are worse enemies than the collective out there, Jae-hwa suddenly shouted. The collective was just the beginning. Sun-woo knows what's coming next. Ji-ho felt a chill. What's coming next? Jae-hwa's face became calm again. I've said too much already. Where is Sun-woo going? After a long silence, Jae-hwa spoke. The Helios research station. But you're already too late. He won't be there. By the time you arrive, Ji-ho stood up. We'll see about that. Thank you for your cooperation, Captain Lee. As he left the interview room, Yun-mi was waiting outside. Do you believe her, Captain? Ji-ho frowned. I believe she's hiding something important. Set a course for the Helios research station. Maximum speed. As the Vengeance prepared to leave the Cygnus checkpoint, Ji-ho stared out at the stars. The war had ended, but he had a feeling that something worse was just beginning. The Vengeance arrived at the Helios research station 3 days later. The station floated alone in space, far from any planets or stars. It was built before the war to study deep space. No signs of life, reported Shung-ho from his communications. Station. No power readings either. The station looks abandoned. Captain Ji-ho frowned. Had Jae-hwa lied to them? Or had Sun-woo already come and gone? Prepare a boarding team, Ji-ho ordered. Eun-mi, Do-hyun, you're with me. Hye-jin, keep the ship ready in case we need to leave quickly. The 3 officers put on their spacesuits and took a small shuttle to the station. The docking area was dark and cold. They turned on their helmet lights and moved carefully through the empty halls. The air is still breathable, Do-hyun said, checking his scanner. But it's very cold. The station's life support is running on emergency power only. They reached the station's control room. Do-hyun went to the main computer and turned it on. The screen flickered to life, showing the station's log. Someone was here 2 days ago, Do-hyun said. They accessed the main database and downloaded a large amount of data. Can you see what they took? Ji-ho asked. Do-hyun typed quickly. It looks like research files, something called Project Phoenix, but most of the data is gone. Yun-mi was checking the security recordings. Captain, I found something. She played a recording on the main screen. It showed a man entering the control room. Even with his back to the camera, Jiho recognized him. That's Sunwoo, he said. Play it forward. The recording showed Sunwoo working at the computer for several hours. Then he took something from a hidden compartment under the floor. It was a small metal box. Stop there, Jiho said. Can you zoom in on that box? Eunmi zoomed the image. The box had a symbol on it, a bird rising from flames. Phoenix, Jiho said quietly. What was he working on here? They searched the rest of the station but found nothing else useful. Back on the Vengeance, Jiho called a meeting with his officers. We need to find out what Project Phoenix is, he said, and why Sunwoo is collecting pieces of it. I found a reference to it in the military database, Seongho said. It was a secret research project that started 5 years before the war, but that's all I could find. Everything else is classified. We need more information, Jiho said. We should talk to Jaehwa again. Jaehwa sat in the ship's small prison cell. She looked up when Jiho entered. You didn't catch him, she said. It wasn't a question. No, Jiho admitted. But we know he took something from Helios Station, something related to Project Phoenix. Jaehwa's eyes widened slightly. She tried to hide her reaction, but Jiho noticed. What is Project Phoenix, he asked. I don't know. You're lying. Jiho sat across from her. People died because of what Sunwoo and the other traitors did. Billions of people. If you know something that can help us find him, you need to tell me. Jaehwa was quiet for a long time. Finally, she spoke. Project Phoenix wasn't supposed to be used the way it was. What do you mean? It was designed to save humanity, not help the collective, but someone changed it, used it against us. What does it do? Jiho asked. Jaehwa shook her head. I don't know exactly. I just know it was split into 5 parts and hidden after the war started. Sunwoo is trying to put it back together. Why? To stop what's coming next. Jiho leaned forward. What's coming next, Jaehwa? You said the collective was just the beginning. What did you mean? Jaehwa looked afraid. They call them the Masters. The collective was just their tool, their way of testing us. Testing. Us for what? To see if we're useful or dangerous. She looked directly at Jiho. The Masters are coming, and when they get here, what's left of humanity will be slaves or dead, unless Sunwoo can stop them. With Project Phoenix? Yes, it's the only chance we have. Jiho thought about this. Could she be telling the truth? Or was this just a story to protect Sunwoo? Where is he going next? Jiho asked. I don't know. I don't believe you. Jaehwa sighed. There's a mining colony on Hephaestus 4. Sunwoo has friends there. That's all I know. Hephaestus the 4 was a small moon orbiting a giant gas planet. The moon was hot and volcanic, but rich in rare minerals. The mining colony there was rough and dangerous. Jiho, Eunmi, and Seongho took a shuttle down to the colony. They wore plain clothes to blend in. The colony was a maze of metal buildings connected by covered walkways to protect from the toxic air outside. We should split up, Jiho said. We'll cover more ground. Eunmi, check the living areas. Seongho, the communications center. I'll look around the trading post. Meet back here in 3 hours. The trading post was crowded and noisy. Miners and traders shouted prices for minerals and supplies. Jiho moved through the crowd, watching for anyone who might be connected to Sunwoo. After 2 hours, he had found nothing. Then he felt something press against his back. Don't turn around, a woman's voice said quietly. Keep walking toward the exit. Jiho felt a gun against his spine. He walked slowly toward the door. Outside in a quiet alley between buildings, the woman finally spoke. You're looking for Sunwoo. Jiho turned around. The woman was older, with a hard face and eyes that had seen too much. She wore mining clothes, but Jiho could tell she wasn't a miner. Who are you? He asked. My name is Misun. I worked with Sunwoo before the war. Where is he? Gone. You missed him by a day. Misun lowered her gun. but I can tell you where he's going next. Why would you do that? Mi-sun's face showed anger. Because he lied to all of us. Project Phoenix wasn't meant to save humanity. It was meant to control it. What do you mean? It's a mind control device. The Masters designed it. They gave the plans to Sun Wu and the others 10 years ago, before the war started. Jiho was shocked. You're saying Sun Wu worked with these Masters before the collective attacked? Yes. They promised him power in the new world, after the collective weakened us. But now something has changed. Sun Wu is afraid of the Masters. He thinks he can use Project Phoenix against them somehow. Jiho didn't know what to believe. Could Jaehua and Mi-sun both be telling the truth? Was Sun Wu a traitor trying to save humanity, or was he still working with these Masters? Where is he going? Jiho asked. The old research base on Europa. The last piece of Project Phoenix is hidden there. Thank you, Jiho said. You should come with us. You'll be safer on our ship. Mi-sun shook her head. No one is safe anymore. The Masters are already here, watching, waiting. She handed Jiho a small data chip. This has everything I know about Project Phoenix. Use it well, Captain. Jiho took the chip. How do you know who I am? Mi-sun almost smiled. Everyone knows about the vengeance, the ship-hunting traitors. Sun Wu is afraid. Of you. Good, Jiho said. He returned to the meeting point and found Yunmi and Sungho waiting. Did you find anything? Yunmi asked. Jiho showed them the data chip. I think we just got our first real lead. As they walked back to their shuttle, Jiho felt someone watching them. He looked back but saw only shadows. The hunt was getting more complicated. Who was telling the truth? What was Project Phoenix really for? And who or what were these Masters? They needed answers, and they needed them fast. The Vengeance would head to Europa next, and hopefully they would find Sun Wu there. The Vengeance traveled through space at top speed toward Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Europa was covered in ice with an ocean underneath. Before the war, humans had built a research base there to study the moon's water. We'll arrive in 6 hours, Navigator Hyojin reported. Captain Jiho nodded and went to his private room. He needed to look at the data chip Mi-sun had given him. He plugged it into his computer and began reading. The information was shocking. Project Phoenix wasn't just one thing. It was a system of 5 devices that worked together. When connected, they could control the thoughts of anyone within range. The project was first designed to control the collective's neural network. But Mi-sun's notes suggested it could work on humans too. This can't be right, Jiho said to himself. Why would anyone create such a dangerous thing? He called his senior officers to a meeting and shared what he had learned. If this information is correct, Yunmi said, we can't let Sun Wu get the eye. Last piece. This technology is too dangerous. But what if Jaehua is right? Sungho asked. What if these Masters are real and Project Phoenix is our only defense? We don't know who's telling the truth, Jiho said. But we do know that Sun Wu betrayed humanity during the war. We can't trust him with this kind of power. Our mission is to stop him and bring him to justice. When they reached Europa, the Vengeance hid behind one of Jupiter's smaller moons. Jiho didn't want Sun Wu to know they were coming. I'm detecting a small ship in orbit around Europa, Hyojin said. It matches the type of ship Sun Wu was using at Helios Station. He's already here, Jiho said. Yunmi, prepare a strike. Team. We'll take the stealth shuttle down to the surface. Do-hyun, you have command of the ship while we're gone. The Europa research base was built into the moon's icy surface. Only the entrance and a few small buildings were visible from outside. The rest was underground, beneath the ice. Jiho, Yunmi, and 4 security officers landed their shuttle a mile away from the base and approached on foot. The surface of Europa was smooth ice, with strange red lines where cracks had formed. They wore special suits to protect them from the extreme cold and lack of air. The base entrance is just ahead, Yunmi said, checking her scanner. I'm detecting 3 life signs inside, Sun Wu and 2 others, Jiho guessed. Remember, we want to take him alive if possible. They reached the base entrance. The door was open, which was strange. Jiho signaled for 2 officers to guard the entrance while the rest of the team went inside. The first room was a small airlock. Once they were all inside, Jiho closed the outer door, and air filled the room. They removed their helmets but kept their protective suits on. "The life signs are coming from the main research lab," Yunmi whispered. "Down that hallway." They moved quietly through the dark base. Emergency lights provided some light, but most areas were in shadow. The base had been abandoned early in the war when the collective attacked the Jupiter colonies. They reached the door to the main lab and heard voices inside. Jiho recognized Sunwoo's voice. "It's not working," Sunwoo was saying. "There must be a security lock." "Try the other access codes," a woman's voice replied. Jiho looked at Yunmi in surprise. That sounded like Mi-sun's voice, but she had been on Hephaestus 4 just days ago. "We need to move now," Jiho whispered. They burst into the lab with weapons ready. Sunwoo and 2 women, Mi-sun and an older woman Jiho didn't recognize, were standing around a computer terminal. In front of them, in a clear container, was a small metal device. It looked like the box they had seen Sunwoo take in the Helio station recording. "Don't move!" Jiho shouted. "General Sunwoo, you're under arrest for treason against humanity." Sunwoo turned slowly. He looked older than in his official pictures, with gray hair and tired eyes, but he didn't look surprised to see them. "Captain Park," he said calmly. "I've been expecting you." "Step away from the device," Jiho ordered. "All of you." Mi-sun smiled at Jiho. It wasn't a friendly smile. "Did you enjoy the information I gave you, Captain? Not all of it was lies." "I trusted you," Jiho said. "That was your mistake." The older woman suddenly moved toward a control panel. One of the security officers fired but missed. The woman hit a button, and red alarm lights began flashing. "Base self-destruct sequence activated," a computer voice announced. "5 minutes to detonation." "Take them!" Jiho shouted. The room erupted in chaos. Sunwoo grabbed the container with the Phoenix device and ran for a side door. Yunmi chased after him while Jiho and the others fought with Mi-sun and the older woman. Mi-sun was surprisingly strong and skilled in combat. She knocked down one security officer and grabbed his weapon. Before she could fire, Jiho tackled her to the ground. "Why?" he demanded as they struggled. "Why betray your own people?" "You don't understand," Mi-sun gasped. "The masters offer us a future. Humanity is dying. They can save us. By making us slaves? By making us more than human." A gunshot rang out, and Mi-sun went limp. The other security officer had shot her. The older woman was already down, unconscious, or dead. 4 minutes to detonation, the computer announced. "Find Yunmi and Sunwoo," Jiho ordered. "We need to get out of here." They ran through the door Sunwoo had used. It led to a long corridor that ended at another lab. Inside, they found Yunmi on the floor bleeding from a head wound. "He hit me," she said as Jiho helped her up. "He took a small ship from the emergency bay. It was hidden behind that wall." "We need to leave now," Jiho said. "This place is about to explode." They ran back through the base to the entrance. The 2 officers guarding the door were gone. "Where are they?" Jiho asked. "Captain, look." One of the officers pointed to the sky. A large ship, unlike any Jiho had seen before, was hovering above the base. It was black and shaped like a giant sea creature, with long tentacles that seemed to move on their own. The 2 missing security officers were floating up toward the ship, caught in some kind of beam. "What is that thing?" Yunmi whispered. 1 minute to detonation," came the computer's voice from inside the base. "Run for the shuttle," Jiho ordered. They sprinted across the ice toward their shuttle. Behind them, the strange ship moved closer to the base. One of its tentacles reached down and touched the ice, melting through it instantly. They reached the shuttle and took off just as the countdown reached 0. The base exploded, sending chunks of ice flying in all directions. But the strange ship remained hovering over the site. "Get us back to the Vengeance," Jiho told the pilot. "Maximum speed." As they flew away from Europa, Yunmi looked at the scanner. "Captain, that ship isn't following us. It's digging into the ice." "It's looking for something," Jiho realized. "Maybe there's more to Project Phoenix than what Sunwoo took." "What?" Was that thing? One of the officers asked. It wasn't a collective ship. Jiho remembered Misun's last words. I think we just saw one of the Master's ships, and if they're here, in our solar system. He didn't need to finish. They all understood what it meant. The war with the collective might be over, but a new, perhaps more terrible war was about to begin. As their shuttle approached the Vengeance, Jiho knew their mission had changed. They still needed to catch Sunwoo and the other traitors. But now they also needed to find out what Project Phoenix really was, and if it could somehow protect humanity from this new threat. The hunt continued, but the stakes were higher than ever. The Vengeance moved away from Jupiter at top speed. Captain Jiho ordered the ship to hide in the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Mars. They needed time to think and plan. What did we just see back there? Navigator He-Jin asked. The bridge. Crew was still shaken by the sight of the strange alien ship. I think we saw one of the Master's ships, Jiho said. The aliens that Jaehua and Misun talked about. The ones who control the collective. Should we report this to Earth Command? Communications Officer Seung-ho asked. Jiho thought for a moment. Not yet. We don't know who we can trust. Remember, Admiral Taewon sent us on this mission because there are traitors in high positions. We need to be careful who we talk to. So, what do we do now? Yunmi asked. Her head was bandaged where Sunwoo had hit her. We still have the same mission. Find Sunwoo and the other traitors. But now we also need to learn more about these masters and what Project Phoenix really is. Jiho went to talk to Jaehua in her cell. When he entered, she looked up with a sad smile. You saw them, didn't you? She asked. The masters? Yes, we saw their ship at Europa. Jaehua nodded. Then you understand now. This is bigger than just catching traitors. Tell me everything you know, Jiho said. No more games. Jaehua sighed. The masters contacted certain humans about 15 years ago. They said they were an ancient race from another galaxy. They offered to share their advanced technology with us. Why? They said they wanted to help humanity grow, but they lied. They just wanted to study us, to see if we were useful. To them, useful how? As servants or soldiers or test subjects for their experiments. They've done this to many other species across the galaxy. Jiho sat down across from her. And Sun Woo was one of the humans they contacted? Yes. Along with Admiral Kyung, General Seo, and several others in high positions. They were promised power and knowledge. In return, they helped the Masters learn about human weaknesses. And then the Masters sent the collective to attack us, Jiho said, understanding now. The collective was just a test, a way to weaken us, and see how we fight. Jaehua looked directly at Jiho. But some of the humans who worked with the Masters began to see the truth. They realized the Masters planned to enslave or destroy humanity once the war was over. So they turned against the Masters? Some did. There are two groups now. One group, led by Admiral Kyung, still works with the Masters. They believe serving the Masters is better than being destroyed by them. And the other group? Sunwoo leads. Them. They want to use Project Phoenix against the Masters. That's why he's collecting all the pieces. Jiho frowned. Mi-sun was working with Sunwoo, but she said the Masters would save humanity. Mi-sun is one of Admiral Kyung's people. She was probably trying to trick you. Jaehua leaned forward. You need to help Sunwoo. Project Phoenix is our only hope against the Masters. Jiho stood up. You're asking me to help a traitor who got billions of people killed. Why should I trust anything you say? Because the Masters are already here, and soon they'll come for all of us. Back on the bridge, Jiho called a meeting with his officers. He shared what Jaehua had told him. So now we have three sides, Yunmi said. Earth Command, who doesn't know about the Masters. Sunwoo's group, who wants to use Project Phoenix against the Masters. And Admiral Kyung's group, who is still working with the Masters. The question is, who do we believe? Seung-ho asked. We believe what we can see with our own eyes, Jiho said. We saw the Master's ship. They're real, and they're a threat. We need to find out more about Project Phoenix and decide for ourselves what to do. How do we do that? Chief Engineer Do Hyun asked. Sunwoo has 4 pieces of Project Phoenix now. He needs the 5th piece to make it work. We need to find out where that last piece is. Seung-ho had been working at his computer. Captain, I might have something. I've been looking through the data Mi-sun gave us. There's a hidden file about a secret meeting between all the traitors. It's happening in 2 days at an abandoned mining station near Neptune. Is Sunwoo going to be there? According to this, yes. So is Admiral Kyung. Ji-ho nodded. Then so are we. The mining station near Neptune had been abandoned for years. It floated in space, a dark metal structure shaped like a wheel. The Vengeance approached carefully, using the planet's rings to hide. I'm picking up 2 ships docked at the station, Heejin reported. 1 small ship, probably Sunwoo's, and 1 larger ship that matches Earth military design. That's probably Admiral Kyung, Ji-ho said. Prepare a boarding team. We'll use the stealth shuttle again. Ji-ho, Yun-mi, Seung-ho, and 4 security. Officers boarded the station through an emergency airlock. The station was dark, with only emergency lights working. They moved quietly through the empty corridors, following life signs on their scanners. They heard voices coming from the main control room. Ji-ho signaled for the team to stop and listen. You're making a mistake, Sunwoo, a deep voice said. That must be Admiral Kyung. The mistake was ever trusting the masters, Sunwoo replied. You've seen what they've done to other species. You know what they plan for humanity. What they offer is better than extinction. They are too powerful to fight. Not with Project Phoenix. Once it's complete, we can disrupt their neural network, turn their own technology against them. And then what? We still don't have their level of technology. We can't defeat their entire fleet. We don't need to. We just need to convince them we're too dangerous to attack. A stalemate is better than slavery. Ji-ho signaled his team to move in. They burst into the control room with weapons ready. Inside were Sunwoo, Admiral Kyung, and several other officers Ji-ho recognized from the most wanted list. Nobody move, Ji-ho shouted. You're all under arrest for treason against humanity. Admiral Kyung was a tall, stern-looking man with white hair. He smiled coldly at Ji-ho. Captain Park, always following orders. Do you even know why you're hunting us? I know you betrayed Earth to the collective. You got billions killed. We saved billions more, Sunwoo said. Without our information, the collective would have destroyed Earth in the first year of the war. We gave them just enough to keep the war going while we worked on Project Phoenix. You're asking me to believe you're heroes? Ji-ho said angrily. No, Sunwoo said. We're not heroes. We made terrible choices, but now we're trying to save what's left of humanity. The room suddenly shook violently. Alarms began to sound throughout the station. The masters are here, Admiral Kyung said, looking at a screen. They've found us. On the screen, Ji-ho saw 3 of the strange black ships approaching the station. We need to leave now, Yun-mi said. Not without the 5th piece of Project Phoenix, Sunwoo said. He opened a small case on the table. Inside was a metal device similar to the one they had seen on Europa. This is the final piece, Sunwoo said. With this we can complete Project Phoenix, but we need to get to Earth first. Ji-ho had to make a decision. He could arrest Sunwoo and the others, but they might all die when the masters attack the station. Or he could work with the traitors and try to get back to Earth with Project Phoenix. How do I know you're telling the truth? Ji-ho asked Sunwoo. You don't, Sunwoo admitted. But do you want to take the chance that I'm lying when those ships are coming for all of us? The station shook again, harder this time. Captain, Seung-ho called from a computer terminal. The Vengeance is under attack. Ji-ho made his decision. We all leave together. We'll sort out who's telling the truth later. They ran for the docking area, but an explosion rocked the station before they reached it. The corridor ahead was torn open to space. There's another way, Admiral Kyung said. Follow me. As they ran through the station, Ji-ho wondered if he was making the biggest mistake of his life. But he had seen the master's ship with his own eyes, and deep down he knew that humanity was facing something far worse than traitors. The hunt had become something much more complicated. Admiral Kyung led the group to a hidden emergency shuttle bay. The station was falling apart around them. Pieces of metal broke off the walls as the master's ships attacked. "This shuttle can hold all of us," Admiral Kyung said. "But it's not. Fast or well-armed." "The Vengeance is still fighting," Sung-ho reported, checking his communicator. "Do-hyun has moved the ship behind Neptune to hide from the masters." "We need to reach your ship," Sun-woo said to Ji-ho. "It's our only chance to get back to Earth." Ji-ho nodded. "Let's go. But remember, you're still my prisoners." They boarded the shuttle and launched into space. Through the windows, they could see the mining station breaking apart. The three masters' ships were tearing it to pieces with energy beams. "They're looking for us," Admiral Kyung said. "For Project Phoenix." "Why do they care so much about it?" Ji-ho asked. Sun-woo held the metal case with the fifth piece. "Because it's based on their own technology they never meant to share with us. If we complete it, we could use it against them." Their shuttle flew around Neptune using the planet's thick atmosphere to hide from the master's sensors. On the other side, the Vengeance waited. "This is Captain Park," Ji-ho said into the communicator. "Prepare for emergency docking." "Captain," Do-hyun's voice came back, "we have company. 2 Earth military ships just arrived. They're demanding we surrender you and the Traitors." Ji-ho looked at Admiral Kyung. "Your people?" Kyung shook his head. "No. Admiral Tae-wan must have tracked you here." "Can we outrun Earth ships and the masters?" Ji-ho asked. "No," Sun-woo said, "but we have another option." He looked at Admiral Kyung. "The secret base, the one on Triton." Kyung's eyes widened. "That's too dangerous. It's not ready." "It's our only choice now," Ji-ho cut in. "What are you talking about?" "There's a hidden base on Triton, Neptune's largest moon," Sun-woo explained. "Built before the war. It has a special shield that can hide us from both Earth and the Masters." "And you just happen to have access to it?" Ji-ho asked suspiciously. "We built it," Kyung admitted. "As a last resort. If you want to live, Captain Park, tell your ship to head there now." Ji-ho didn't trust them, but he had few options. "Do-hyun, set course for Triton. We'll send coordinates." The Vengeance picked up their shuttle and immediately headed for Triton. Behind them, the Earth ships changed course to follow, and beyond them, the Master's ships appeared from behind Neptune. "They found us," Heejin said from the navigation station. "Full speed to Triton," Ji-ho ordered. "Use the moon's surface to hide our approach." Triton was a cold moon covered in ice and frozen nitrogen. The Vengeance flew close to its surface, weaving between tall ice formations. The Earth ships followed, but kept a safe distance. "There." Sun-woo pointed to a large canyon ahead. "The base entrance is hidden in that canyon." The Vengeance descended into the canyon. At the bottom, a large door opened in the ice wall. The ship barely fit through the opening. Once inside, the door closed behind them. They were in a massive cave carved into Triton's crust. In the center was a base unlike anything Ji-ho had seen before. It was built with a mixture of human and alien technology. The walls glowed with strange blue light. "Welcome to Phoenix Base," Sun-woo said. "The last hope of humanity." Inside the base, Sun-woo and Admiral Kyung led them to a large room at the center. It contained a circular platform with 5 spaces that looked like they were designed to hold the pieces of Project Phoenix. "This is where we will assemble it," Sun-woo said. "But first we need to explain everything." Ji-ho looked at his officers, Yoon-mi, Seung-ho, Hye-jin, and Do-hyun, who had joined them from the ship. "We're listening." Sun-woo began. 15 years ago, the Masters contacted certain humans. They promised to share technology and knowledge with us. What they didn't tell us was that they've done this with hundreds of other species across the galaxy. They study each species, Kyung continued. Learn its strengths and weaknesses. Then they create a custom version of the collective to test that species, to see if they're worthy of being preserved. "Preserved as what?" Yoon-mi asked. "Slaves?" "As part of their collection," Sun-woo said. "The Masters collect species they find interesting. The ones that fail their tests are destroyed." Ji-ho was horrified. And you helped them do this to humanity? At first, yes, Kyung admitted. We believed their lies. But then we found evidence of what happened to other species. We realized we needed to fight back. So you created Project Phoenix? Yes. Using technology we secretly learned from the Masters. It's designed to disrupt their neural network, the way they communicate with each other and control their ships. But we had a disagreement, Sunwoo said, looking at Kyung. About how to use it. Kyung nodded. I believed we should keep working with the Masters, pretend to help them, while secretly developing weapons against them. Sunwoo wanted to break away completely and use Project Phoenix as soon as it was ready. So you split the project into 5 pieces and hid them, Ji-ho said. To keep it safe until we decided what to do, Sunwoo confirmed. But now the Masters are here. We have no more time for disagreements. A loud boom shook the base. Shang-ho checked a monitor. The Earth ships have landed on the surface. They're trying to find a way in. And the Masters? Ji-ho asked. 3 ships in orbit around Triton. The shield is hiding us for now, but they'll find a way through eventually. Ji-ho made his decision. Show us how Project Phoenix works. Convince me it's our best option. Sunwoo opened the case and removed all 5 pieces. They were small metal devices, each with the symbol of a phoenix bird. He placed them on the circular platform in specific positions. When activated, Project Phoenix creates a field that disrupts the Master's neural connection, he explained. It doesn't kill them, but it makes their technology useless within its range. How big is that range? Do-hyun asked. This prototype can only cover about the distance from Earth to Mars, but if it works, we can build more. Another explosion rocked the base, stronger this time. The Earth forces have found an entrance, Shang-ho reported. They'll be inside in minutes. And the Masters have landed on the surface too, Hyojin added. They're coming from the other side. They were trapped between 2 enemies. We need to activate Project Phoenix now, Sunwoo said urgently. Wait, Ji-ho said. How do we know it won't hurt humans too? You said it affects neural networks. It's designed to target the specific frequency the Masters use, Kyung explained. Human brains work differently. You're asking me to trust you with the fate of humanity, Ji-ho said. The same people who betrayed humanity before. Sunwoo looked directly at Ji-ho. We made terrible mistakes. We trusted the wrong beings. But now we're trying to save what's left of our species. You came to hunt traitors, Captain Park. And you found us. Now you have to decide. Will you arrest us and let the Masters destroy humanity? Or will you help us fight back? The base shook again. On the monitors, they could see Earth soldiers entering from one side and strange, tall aliens with black skin and multiple arms coming from the other. The Masters had arrived. Ji-ho looked at his crew. They had followed him across the galaxy to hunt traitors. Now they might have to work with those same traitors to save humanity. Do it, Ji-ho finally said. Activate Project Phoenix. Sunwoo pressed his hand on a panel. The 5 pieces began to glow and rise slightly above the platform. Energy flowed. Between them, forming the shape of a bird, a phoenix made of light. It's working, Kyung said. On the monitors, they watched as the Masters suddenly stopped. Their movements became jerky and uncoordinated. Their weapons stopped working. The Earth soldiers are still coming, Shang-ho warned. I'll talk to them, Ji-ho said. They need to know what we're facing. He went to meet the Earth forces led by none other than Admiral Taewon himself. Captain Park, Taewon said, I ordered you to capture the traitors, not join them. Sir, the situation has changed, Ji-ho replied. The enemy we thought we defeated, the collective, was just the beginning. The real threat is here now. The Masters. As if to prove his point, the base shook violently. Part of the ceiling collapsed. The shield is failing, Sunwoo called out. Project Phoenix is working, but the Master ships are trying to destroy the base from orbit. Ji-ho looked at Admiral Taewon. We need to get Project Phoenix to Earth. It's our only defense against the Masters. Taewon hesitated, then nodded. I've seen their ships. I know they're not human. If this device can stop them, we need it. Together, they ran back to the central room. Sunwoo was carefully removing the 5 pieces which were still glowing. Need to get these to Earth, he said, to warn them and prepare our defenses. We'll take my ship, Taewon said. It's the fastest. As they hurried to evacuation pods, Jiho realized the hunt for traitors had become something much more important, a fight for the survival of the human race. The war with the collective had been just the beginning. The real battle for humanity's future was about to start, and it would decide the fate of not just the traitors, but every human in the galaxy. The end.